Hi, I'm Chinouriri. I am from London born and bred. However, my heritage is Zimbabwean, and I released my debut album, What a Devastating Turn of Events, this year, and I spoke about the struggles and battles of growing up as a Black British creative and what I've had to deal with. In this podcast, I'll be sitting with my dear friend, Kat Burns, and we'll be discussing what it's like making music as Black British creatives in the UK and the contributions we are making to British culture. We will also be joined by some amazing guests to speak about representation, creative expression, and our identity in our creativity. So this is Euan, and let's get into it.
Hi everyone, my name is Khadija and I'm a student from BRIT, currently in year 13, and I'm here with the amazing people Rachel and Kat Burns. So my first question for you guys is, if you could describe your music in 3 words, what would you describe it?
Pretty bloody good.
Pretty bloody good. That was off the tongue, you rolled off.
Hell yeah, every single time. I think it's unapologetically
There we go,
authentic.
clicking fingers out. Yes.
What would be mine?
That's my 3 words.
Relatable, honest, and I'd probably say authentic as well.
So the next question is, like, when you needed time to like think or get inspiration in BRIT, where would you go? Like, what part of the school? I think now they've got more addition to the school. They've got different blocks now, but like, where was like a place that you would go?
Not us.
Hold on.
Huh?
We're not aware. Like,
What
there's
blocks?
like there's like the theatre block now. There's the original block. Come on.
There's additions. Oh, I left there in 2017.
I left in 2018.
I almost started 10 years ago.
Wow.
Next year will be 10. Don't say wow.
Really scary.
Please. No.
me feel old.
It's really scary.
You look young, guys. No, still
I'm
young.
saying wow. Oh,
Yeah, no.
Please, Khadija.
I think my person was Katie Sekiari, who's a teacher in musical theatre, and I don't even know if she will even remember giving this advice, but I remember going to her and she was like, I said I was having writer's block, what do I do? And she said, if you have writer's block, do nothing and go and see the world and experience the world, and taught me a lot of things. Speaking to people, one conversation could be a tiny thing, saying hi to someone in a coffee shop and having a minute conversation can turn into a story and a song. Exploring things, reading things, watching things, just stopping is the way to get back my creativity. Another thing which Katie did, which at the time I was very cross about, but I'm grateful for, is one of my first week in BRIT. They always said early is on time is late, and late is not good enough. They tell you that?
They do. They do.
Oh, they do,
And
yeah.
in my first week, I remember I was emailing, and bearing in mind I lived in Croydon, so I was on like a 50-minute bus. There's some kids coming from like North London.
Yeah.
But
some people come from outside as well.
Yeah, from outside of London. So I got the train to school. I think it was starting at 8:20 or something, and I got there at 8:22, and I'd sent emails. I'm so sorry. Da, 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 da. The whole class was sat in a circle. Open the door, walk in, put my bag down, and go, so sorry, Kate. Da, da, da. While I'm talking, she just picked up my bag, put it outside. She just opened the door. She was like, you need to go outside. Closed the door, locked the door, and I had to go to the canteen. And the way I
That's
sat,
crazy.
I've never sat and reflected so hard in my life.
Oh, that's deep.
I was also in the canteen with like 5 other people that it happened to from the same class, and we're all like, damn. And I think why I'm grateful for that is because now, if I'm starting something like at 9, I know that getting there and starting to do stuff is almost disrespectful of people's time. I need to do what I need to do to be ready before I get there to then begin. And then when I started music, it would be like a session starts at 12, I'd be at the session at 11:50.
Huh?
Sat. I'd be sat
My
ready.
time management.
Yeah.
Really, really bad.
You see, you
Really
needed some BRIT School teachers to lock you outside for a couple of times, and you would have realised.
What about you, Kat?
For me, it was just literally one of the music rehearsal rooms. Like, I would either go there during lunch if I wanted to like write something new, or weirdly, I would go to the library. Sometimes I just get really overstimulated with how loud school can be sometimes. So in break and lunch, sometimes I would just go up to the library, and like my friends would come up and be like, what are you doing here? I'm like, you're not even reading. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about what I'm doing, yeah? I'm just here.
Yeah, you just need time for yourself,
let me just decompress and exist and write some things down, and I'll come back downstairs. So it's probably the library or like a music rehearsal room.
Do you think socially there's a stigma or stereotype on what kind of music Black artists should produce? And if so, how can we break this barrier?
100%. I think it's always, if you're Black, you're going to be doing quote unquote Black music, and that is going to be R&B, soul, hip hop,
Drill,
maybe drill, jazz. It's interesting because it's almost like, you see when there was this big movement with record labels putting Black squares up, and it was kind of like, we want to help and do all the stuff, and there was loads of help, but then you see, for example, I went onto Netflix and then I saw Black films category, and I'm like, is that not basically urban films, and then you've just changed the words to Black films? Like, why is it always like you have your stuff but it's a different section? You want to still be involved in other things, and that was kind of happening. And I think me and Kat have been speaking about the journey we've had of breaking that, and I think even though we've been the lucky ones, it's almost like we've had to find our own audiences, and maybe TikTok was the saving grace, but conversations like this is really helpful.
No, I would say the exact same, but I think what's interesting is that actually the UK in terms of like radio and whatever respond to R&B and whatever isn't even, it's not even supported on a mass level. It's like so many UK R&B artists are like, I probably need to go to the US because I'm not going to get shown that much love here. So it's a really interesting thing that we're boxed into so many, like, these genres, but then the genres here aren't supported as much as they should be.
And it's almost like...
So it's just kind of like, just do this so we don't actually really have to support you that much.
But it's almost like R&B and soul, more R&B soulful musicians, the genre then deserves to have more exposure in the UK.
100.
But because their music has almost been completely clouded by people having to waft through all this music that doesn't sound like R&B and soul, because they have to dig for stuff, it then means the whole thing is just like clouded. And it's almost like unfair, because if I went into a playlist and wanted R&B music and heard So My Darling, I'd skip the song. But imagine then skipping like 20 of those to then hit a good R&B song. It just stops the growth of actual talented R&B and soulful musicians.
They're like lost in the source of it all. Yeah. How did studying music at BRIT help prepare you for the industry you're in right now?
It actually prepared me quite a bit. The first thing I can think of weirdly is how to like pack cable leads.
So
that was something that we learned so much whenever we were finishing rehearsals, like how to like properly pack cables. But no, you do learn about all the different types of jobs in the industry, and I think what was super interesting was that there were loads of people in my class who came in to school really wanting to be an artist and be a singer, and then they learned about all the different jobs in the industry. Yeah, they left school actually being like, no, I don't think I want to be a singer. I think I actually want to work in a different space within the music industry. So you do learn a lot, and there was a section where we learned about contracts and what to look out for. And we also had a little lesson on like taxes and how to look after yourself as a self-employed person. So there was like really good practical things that you could like take with you. And then also, I think the community of having so many different types of musicians at your fingertips. You have a gig, hey, can you play this gig with me?
The connections,
exactly.
the networking,
It's the community I think you automatically get access to, which I think is what's amazing.
How do you think your experience being Black in BRIT School, in the industry currently, before you're getting into the industry, how do you think your journey will be? Because I feel like when I started, I was like, oh, this might be a bit of an impossible task. But obviously we went to BRIT years ago, and I'm hoping that with all the progress and conversation that's happened, people your age are not going to look and be like, where do I fit in the creative arts in the UK? So how do you feel about your journey, and are you excited for the journey once you leave and the experiences you're going to have?
I'm excited for the journey that's to come for me. I do look at...
And what do you do? Just so
I do musical theatre, everyone. And I would say, like, I'm really hopeful for my future. There's obviously loads of people from BRIT who are like me, who look like me, who have come out and who are doing amazing things right now, which is a good sense of motivation to know that I can be like them, or I can achieve certain things that they've achieved. Of course, everyone's level of success is up to you, of course, but it's nice to have people like you guys who are smashing it in the industry to look up to. And I feel like with saying that too, I guess that does just give a sense of hope for me, so for my future. thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Bye-bye. My name's Khadija. Bye.
Oh, there is a wasp. Oh, there is a wasp. I hope it stays there. It's kind of low-key twerking.